Well, when supporters get it wrong, I'm going to do a reaction video to this Darla Routier supporter. Follows under copyright protection. Title 17 for purposes of parody, entertainment, or response. When people spread the wrong word out about this case.
Okay, if we're applying that same rationale, if she was going to murder her own children, why would she do it with a kitchen knife from her own block of knives that were sitting on her countertop? And there was only one missing. Like she thought nobody would figure that out. So, we know that both boys were killed by stab wounds. I don't know if y'all are brave enough to, or if your mind works like my mind, but the boys' autopsy photos are on the internet. Okay?
And so is the boys' autopsy report, which you did not read before you started claiming that this woman was innocent. You obviously did not read the autopsy reports at all to come out here and claim that this baby killer is innocent. But listen up.
Devin's stab wounds went completely through and through. Every single one of them.
Not a single one of Devin's stab wounds went through his body. Not a single one of them went into the concrete. Not a single one. If you read the autopsy report, you'll know that. Before you claim that this baby killer, this child killer, is innocent. We all know that the story of where the knife went through so hard that it went through from the carpet to the concrete came from the Lisa Gibbons show. Came from Darren Routier. It was a rumor to make it look like it was a stronger person than a little old Darlie that did that stabbing. You can look up the autopsy of Devin Routier, and the file is on. It's available for anybody to read, which this lady should have done it before she came spouting this. She said every single one of them, not a one of them went through the floor.
Went completely through and through. And when I say through, there is a picture, and if this is going to be too graphic, maybe you should step out for a second. They have him rolled over on the exam table, okay, while he's having the autopsy done. The photo is from behind his back. So this is Devin. They've lifted him up, and this is his back, and his shoulders are rolled over a little bit, and you can see all the stab wounds on his back.
That's Damon that they had the pictures of him flipped over. That's not Devin. That's Damon who was stabbed in the back. That's Damon. That you don't see any pictures of Devin like that. That's Damon.
Back. They are the full stab wounds through and through. Okay? There was chips of concrete missing out of the foundation of the home. Devin was stabbed so hard that it chipped the concrete.
And that's what they want you to believe, right? But there were no chips because the knife did not go through either one of their bodies. There were no chips. That's what Darren wanted you guys to believe from the beginning. This lady wants this baby killer out and doesn't know this. There were chips. Where were these chips? Where were these chips at? Were they entered into evidence? Was there any pictures of the chip floor? Because it didn't happen.
Through his body, it went through the carpet, it went through the padding of the carpet, and it chipped the concrete.
Absolutely not. That is a lie that came from Darren Routier himself.
So why is there no blood on the knife? You know what that tells me? Well, I don't know if I want to put my speculation on it because this doesn't have anything to do with the case. I said I was going to present facts.
You said you were going to post facts, and you've already posted something that isn't correct.
Okay, I'm going to tell you anyways. You know what I think that means? Okay, hold on. So we know they went through and through, and we know they broke the concrete on the bottom, right?
No, we don't know that because that's not what happened. There is no through and throughs. That is so aggravating to hear somebody do this.
We also know Devin was dead on arrival. He was beyond the point of help. Damon was crawling on his hands and knees, and he was gurgling when the paramedics arrived. That tells me that maybe the person who broke into the house that came with one knife broke the knife. Maybe the knife broke on Devin, and he knew he still had to address Damon and Darlie, and so he went to the kitchen. I wish y'all could see the inside of the house. I actually have videos of the inside of the house. It was for sale recently, and someone that I know went inside.
I've actually been there. Now, in order for the knife to break off inside of one of their bodies, it would leave a scar that would show that it broke. It would leave different than a stab wound. So what, this guy picked it up, took it with him?
Inside the house and took a video. From the outside, the house looks gigantic, okay? It looks huge. It was very small on the inside. Like, you would have been hard-pressed to fit a sectional couch like we have now. We have like these big oversized sectionals now. They didn't back in 96. You wouldn't be able to fit it in there. The kitchen and the living room are very, very close together. Maybe whoever brought the knife in broke his knife and didn't have a backup one, and we never got the first knife because he took it with him, and the only knife he left behind was the one that he panicked when.
So when he broke his knife, he's stabbing a victim, right? And he broke his knife. And he stopped to get another knife. What was the victim doing? What was the victim doing? Not trying to get away, not trying to scream, nothing like that, right?
When Darlie fought back and he dropped it, that was retrieved from the butcher block. I don't know, maybe. But what I do know is that knife that they are saying in the transcript chipped the foundation.
The transcripts?
Should have had Devin's blood on it.
Oh, no. There's none about the transcripts that chipped the foundation.
This is the only single one knife, according to Greg Davis. There was one knife that was used, and if it was that knife from the butcher block, then it should have had Devin's blood on it.
Why? Because there was a cleanup at the sink. How do we know? I think she went over there and rinsed that knife off after she stabbed him, and then she went and staged the sock out there, right? She got her knife rinsed off. She comes back and she sees Damon trying to crawl up towards the steps, and she stabs him again. That's why Devin's blood's not on that knife. Or the only 4 points that they tested showed it.
So, wow, I think I talked fast. That's all I got. No, the knife was not chipped. You can see there's pictures of it in evidence. The knife that they say was the single knife was not chipped. And it was a cheap butcher block, like a 15 knife set that you get from I don't know where. Darlie had expensive stuff. But if I would have got it, it would have been from Walmart. It's not like it's restaurant grade knives that are going to hold up against concrete. There's no way that I'm not going to say there's no way. It would seem unlikely that knife from that cheap kitchen residential butcher block set would have been able to do the damage to the concrete.
And actually, they were pretty good knives, as a matter of fact. They had Bakelite brand handles on them. She was so worried about my fingerprints. There's no fingerprints on it because Bakelite brand plastic is not conducive to handle well.
Okay. Sure. What time is it? Did I do okay? What did I think? I want some feedback. I've never done this before. I feel like I just went on a rampage by myself in a quiet room. 8:04. Wow, that was only 34 minutes. We did good. Oh, do you want to talk about, we can talk about some more of the DNA. I have some more of that. How many times were the boys stabbed? Ooh, okay. You guys are, I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know how many times the boys were stabbed. But you know that concrete was chipped. The picture that you said was of Devin was actually of Damon. Damon they took to the hospital. right away, and they left Damon in the house. He was at the scene until 1:30 the next day, laying right where he was till 1:30 before they took him out of there. So you saw stab wounds to the back that were actually stab wounds to the back.
I do not remember off the top of my head the number of times each boy was stabbed. Let me look it up. And like, here's one thing I want to make sure I convey to y'all. Like, the questions that I'm asking, like, okay, if he's saying this, but this happened, then how did this? Like, those are legitimately my questions. And I don't understand how the jurors didn't have more questions. Okay, let's see. They both had 4 stab wounds. Do I think she was drugged? No, so
I'm going to stop it here and just hope in the future that when people come out to defend other people who are charged with killing children, that they know the simplest of facts first. Now, I don't know who she's friendly with Danelle. And see, Danelle and them, they're not going to correct you. We will correct you. I've been in that house. I've stood right where those boys were killed at. The picture you described is of Damon. We all know that. I'm not even going to go through this anymore with this one. You know, it's unfortunate because she seems bright and excited about the case, but she's just misinformed. And you cannot do that when you're standing up for a child killer. You cannot do that. You've got things wrong badly.